What is up, Elevate? I hope you guys are well. Excited for another week with you guys. Last week, we talked about the title of the message was Love is Not Something We Do, it is Someone We Become. So that was like part one. Today is part two of kind of, we're in the series Learning to Love, but these messages are these last two, last week and then today is just very tied into each other. This week, the title of our message is give away love like you're made of it. So first, we're talking about how it's not something we do. Love is someone we become. And then we're going to spend our lives trying to become like love as best we can. And we're going to give that away like we're made of it. So this is like the action step after becoming like love or understanding that our lives as Christians are going to be spent trying to become like love as best we can. And as we're doing that, we're going to give it away like we're made of it. Because when we become love, we are love. So we can give it away like we're made of it. Jesus is the perfect example of that because he is love and he was love. So we talked about that, talked about how he is that last week, and we will again this week. So, as I said, Jesus was made of love because he just straight up was love. He's the definition of love. No one loves better than he does or ever will. So nothing was as important to him as showing love. In Bible times, there were people that society completely cut off, that they made outcasts, whether they were people with leprosy, which is this gross disease that your skin looks horrible and you barely look human. No way were they allowed in the town or even like thought of as people. Jesus loved on them and healed them. There was a woman who had 5 husbands, and the town was like, no way, we are not going to talk with you. You're an outcast. Jesus loved on her. There were so many different kinds of people. Zacchaeus, a tax collector, stole money from people. People hated him. Jesus loved on him. Those are the kind of people that make me know that Jesus is love, is because my human nature is not to go love on those people. But Jesus is, because it's not human nature that he's going off of. It's the love of God that he is. That the love of God is his human nature, so to speak. And so I want to spend my life trying to make my human nature look more like Jesus's human nature. So Jesus is the prime example of pouring out love like you're made of it. Throughout our lives, whether it's at school, whether it is at home, on our sports teams, in friendships, we are going to take a hit, so to speak. We're going to get hurt. We're going to be in some situations that are pretty intense, where there's conflict, where we get angry, upset, or hurt, and we're not going to respond well. That's always going to happen. But if we strive to become love and give it away like we're made of it, we're going to respond poorly a whole lot less if we're trying to be love and give away love like we're made of it. So there are countless amount of times that I have responded poorly in those situations, and I have not responded like I am made of love. And we're always going to have a lot of those, and we might always have more of those than positive ones. But that does not mean we should ever give up on trying to become love, because those times where we do get to respond like we're made of love and give it away like we're made of it, those are the moments where Jesus' light is shined the brightest, is when we can respond with love in that moment. So I have plenty of examples in my life where I have messed up in that way, but I also have some examples where I have been hurt, I've been upset, I've been angered, but I have responded with love because I've spent a lot of time trying to become it. Same thing for you guys. I'm sure you guys have examples on both sides. If I could choose my reaction every time, it would be to pour out love. That would be the reaction I want every single time. It's not always like that because we think and act before we get to choose. So one of my favorite examples, I've said it at Elevate. I've talked with you guys about it before. I love the idea of a piñata, the thing hanging from a tree that you beat with a stick or a bat. I love the example of a piñata because in life we are hit, not in the same way. We get hurt. We go through hard times. We are upset and we are angered, and our emotions are hit, and we have an instant reaction. Our minds and our hearts go somewhere, and we get to train where we want that first instinct to be. A lot of the time, it's an angry reaction. It's a hurtful reaction. But I want my reaction to be of love. I want it to be loving. And it takes time and practice to get that to be our reaction, because our human nature is not just to pour out love when we get upset. It takes practice, and the best way to practice at that is looking at who did pour out love every time he was hit. So picture a piñata. When it gets hit, what pours out of it? Candy. And so for me, when I get hit, I want love to pour out of me. Maybe the day after Halloween, it is candy that pours out of me, and I can understand that. But something important to remember is that our lives tell a story. When you guys read your history books, you're reading about people's lives, and they have told a story throughout their lives. Some of them, not great stories. Some of them, incredible stories. Some of them have different sides to both. For me, I know that I want my story, my life, to reflect and be an example of a stream of love, an unending stream of love. If I don't know if you guys have ever heard the question, what would you want people to say about you when you've died, when you're no longer on the earth? What do you want your legacy to be? I would want my legacy to be known. I would like to be known for the way I loved people. I would want the first thing people think about me is to think about how I love them. That is my goal, because I feel like and believe that that was Jesus's goal, is to love people so well in that way. I want to love people to reflect him. He loved people to reflect his Father. So think about what you want your reaction to be in those situations, and what you want the story of your life. I know that sounds like this big scary thing, but each day is a part of our story. So just think about what you want today to reflect. What do you want the story of today to be? One of my favorite quotes by my favorite author named Bob Goff, who I get all my ideas from in the Bible. He says, "Be love, so love will flow out of you when people fail you or when people hurt you. Because it flowed out of Jesus when he took the fall for us." So just like Jesus loved us in our imperfections, let's love others in their imperfections or in our own imperfections. Because it's easy to get upset, hurt, and angered, and it's not easy to respond with love. So let's practice and grow in responding with love in all kinds of situations. Give away love like you're made of it. Let love fill you up and become who you are, so you can truly give it away like it is part of you, just like Jesus did. Excited to see you guys tonight. Have a wonderful rest of your day.